He'll get volume. He'll be viable for cash. I think they'll be playing from behind. I'm not going to get to Jacobs much on that side of the ball. I like Aguilar. He helped me last weekend. He's still really cheap. With the injuries, especially if Ruggs out, he'll be in a lot of 3 receiver sets with Zay Jones and the fuck's the little white boy's name? Hunter Renfro. I might take some of their passing game. They're probably going to be playing from behind the Raiders, that is, so they're probably going to have to throw the ball a lot. But I don't think Mahomes is really the guy I'm going with. Dak is somebody who's in a lot of my lineups this week. I have a lot of this game targeted on both sides. I don't know that he'll throw as much as he has. Don't be fooled by his recency bias. This is probably the first game of the year where the Cowboys are winning for most of this game. That being said, Zeke looks like a monster, hence the cover this week, and Dak looks good with his weapons as well. Neither team has a good defense. This should be a higher scoring affair, provided that Danny Dimes can actually get the ball out to Slayton. And I think actually Golden Tate has a really good matchup this week because Dallas can't do shit against the slot. So especially on DraftKings, you get that full PPR. Loving that. Those guys are cheap. Kyler Murray, this will be the first week I'm probably not playing much. He's not a bad play. I just rather go elsewhere. 72, he's getting up there and expensive. He's got a little bit tougher matchup this week. I know the Jets. Their secondary is actually pretty good, though. Not to say he won't play well. He'll just be a little less efficient. D. Watson, okay, so if you're not aware, and I'm sure you are, they fired Bill O'Brien. He had a huge blowout with J.J. Watt. So they're going to be looking to make a statement here, I think, as a team, having not won a game. Give him Cooks, Watson, and I also like Duke Johnson as well. He's pretty inexpensive. We'll get there, though. Roethlisberger at home against a very banged up... or are they on the road? No, it's a home game, yeah. Philadelphia is fucked. That team is fucked. Like their defense is all right, but their O-line has been all fucked up. They got Lane Johnson back last week. That helped a little. Just so many injuries to their receiving core. Wentz doesn't look the same. So my only concern with this game is it doesn't seem like the type of game that Roethlisberger's going to have to throw as much as you would like for a guy at 6,600. The running game, solid. A lot of people worry about Slayton. I think it's funny because I've actually heard people in the industry talk about Slayton or covering Juju, and that's not how that works. He stays on one side of the field. He's going to be on Deontay Johnson, so maybe Deontay Johnson gets like 9 looks instead of 12 and only catches like 7 of them. I don't really think it matters that much. Goff can get fucked. Legend of Gardner Minshew, fucking dick grabber of the year a few weeks ago. Actually, I like him in this spot against Houston. Houston can't do shit against the run. Their secondary is garbage as well. So both sides of this game look to be good. You saw as soon as Minshew got his boy back, DJ Chark, what a difference that made. He's fine. Loving Teddy Bridgewater, going to him for cash a lot in some tournaments as well. This is another good game to target. Two teams are going to allow each other to score a crap ton. Atlanta, pieces of both, honestly. Matt Ryan playing at home looks really good as well against Carolina. Has not been able to stop anybody. Neither is Atlanta. Phillip Rivers is just not the same guy anymore. I don't mind pieces of his offense, but I am not going to pay $5,800 for him when I can go down to Danny Jones for $54 or Matt Ryan, $61, just a few dollars more than him. Off of the Fitzmagic train, I still think I'll have a all right day, but San Francisco's defense is too buku for that soul brother. I think their defense is a good play this week, pretty expensive. Garoppolo back off of the ankle injury. The only problem with Garoppolo is, he's besides the fact he's made out of glass, they use the running game a lot. I don't know that he's going to produce. I mean, at 5'5", you need him to get you, 16? It's very possible on DraftKings especially. But yeah, it's just there's better options. Coming down here, that's really all I like. Let's get over to running back. I've literally spent the last 5 hours pretty much just building lineups and looking at numbers, and my head hurts. I just want to have a cocktail or a smoke and calm the fuck down, play some Xbox. Enough's enough of this shit. Yeah. As I click on the wrong thing, where were we? We were doing position optimizer. Please like and subscribe and all that horse shit. Actually, the thumbs up really help fight the algorithm. So give me a thumbs up. Help your homie out here. Come on. Okay, for wide receivers. No, we didn't do running backs yet. Told you I'm tired. I'm not editing any of this shit either, so enjoy, people, at my expense. All right. Up top, Zeke Elliott. He's on the cover for a fucking reason. Play him. Don't think stupid. Play him. Play him, play him, play him. Cash, fan, whatever it is. The guy's got more red zone touches, crap ton of targets, so on DraftKings that makes him sweet. He's playing against the Giants who can't stop the run. This is a rivalry game. All the different narratives playing at home, I think. Or no, are they away? No, he is at home. Play Zeke. He should be 9K. 7,800 is too cheap for him. He should be 9K on DraftKings easy. I'm not going to Connor because he burns me too often. The guy just gets hurt all the time. It's not a bad spot. Maybe I'll play him a little on the tournament. We'll look at ownership when we get closer to lock. 7% projected. Probably not. These are the two guys, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Zeke. You can tell by the ownership. Those are very cash viable. You might need to pivot off of one of them for a tournament to win one. But that's not to say they're chalky, but they're good chalk. You know what I mean? Like, you can stack those in your lineup and then differentiate other places for a tournament. James Robinson looks pretty good this week as well. I don't like that 10% ownership. Kareem Hunt, I love. He's another one. Just fucking plug him in. Honestly, look, he's half the ownership of these guys. He can get you a whole bunch. He's super involved in the passing game. Now with no Nick Chubb, you know they're going to get him involved, getting him more touches. Just play him, man. Don't even think about it. Miles Sanders, I'm going to take a pass on this week. Just too expensive. Mike Davis. Okay, so he's Christian McCaffrey's replacement. You know how involved CMC was in that offense. There's absolutely no reason not to play Mike Davis in the majority of your lineups, and you can tell by the initial ownership projection. A lot of people feel that way. The dude's a stud. He's going to see a lot of touches. He's going to see a lot of passes. That's what they're going to do, and then they're going to run play action with Robbie Anderson, who I love this week at that price, and DJ Moore. Jacobs I'll take a pass on just because of game script. He's a stud, but Kansas City I think is going to be out by a lot in this game. They're not going to be able to run the ball a lot. They're going to be throwing the ball more. Mixon's fine for tournaments, not liking him in cash. Taylor, been a little disappointing. Fairly consistency, decent floor, not a bad cash play. But I think there's better plays out there for the money, so I'm probably not going to get a lot of him this week. 4% ownership makes me feel like, okay, I might play him in a lineup or two for tournaments, just to see if I can get up on the field if he does blow up. Mostart just came back off of the IR. I think he's trending towards playing. Limited in practice Friday. We'll see what happens. He kind of cockblocks McKinnon. I'm still going to get to some McKinnon. The guy's been just crushing it without any real competition. That backfield gets crowded real quick, though, in San Francisco. And, then it's kind of throw a dart. But let's look. Kenyon Drake, they're just not getting him the ball in the receiving game like they were in the past years. And that's really limiting his upside. He's kind of playing a tougher run defense this week. I'll probably not get to much of him. A lot of people like Todd Gurley. I'm not one of them. Not this week. Especially at 13% ownership. If he was like 4% ownership, different story. But Carolina, you generally do want to stream players against Carolina's defense. They're terrible. But this is a home game. Matty Ice at home in the Dome. Don't know that Julio will be available. I'm looking more for his receiving targets. Ingram I like. For 5,400, he's pretty much guaranteed to get you a freaking 12. He'll get in the end zone, he'll get you 10 touches, whatever. Maybe a little weather in that game. I don't know if it's really going to affect. Weather really doesn't affect the way people think it does unless it's a blizzard, but we'll see. Not really much out there. I love David Johnson for that price. I'm definitely going after him a bunch. You can see the field is going after him too at 17%. Antonio Gibson, another guy I love for the price. Just, tournaments only. Not really looking to put him in my cash lineup. Not consistent enough. No Devontae Freeman for me this week. I'll pass. I feel like Dallas is going to be up a bunch. Kind of went over that. That's really all that's sticking out for me on that side of things. Do wide receivers. Wide receivers, got to get your value somewhere if you're paying up for studs, especially if you've watched my tutorial on how to win money in this. You want to win money playing $5, $10, $25 double ups. Those are cash games, folks. So what do? You put 3 running backs in that between the 3 will touch the ball 75 times. Okay? Wide receiver strategy, pretty simple. Roughly 24, 25 targets. That's what you want. So you can get a little more value at wide receiver. Up top, D-Hop, not going there this week. No thanks. Too expensive. Amari Cooper, it's a little high. I'm sure you could pay that price off, but for the most part, I think so many people are going to be on him. Right now, his predicted ownership is 17%, which is pretty high. So I'll probably go after other pieces of that passing game. Staying away from Hill this week. Take a stand somewhere. Like I said, it's not that I don't think he's going to be good. It's just I don't know that Patrick Mahomes is going to have to throw the ball much in the second half of this game. I don't think that the Raiders can keep up with Kansas City's offense. Not with the injuries to their personnel. If they were healthy, different story. Juju Smith, not a bad play, especially DraftKings. You get the full PPR. Not getting much of him, though. But at 3%, I'll probably, if that ownership stays that low, I will probably look tomorrow morning at the projected ownership, and I might pivot to him in a lineup or two for tournaments only. Cooper Kupp, great. Just yes. Yes to everything always, especially on DraftKings. The guy gets 1 million targets. He's obviously the favorite receiver. He doesn't have the best matchup this week against Washington, but the volume's there. Love chart for tournaments. He's getting a little bit more ownership than I'd like to see, but this is another game you want to target. Is this Jacksonville-Houston game? Higher upside, worse defenses. CeeDee Lamb I love. I think that's too cheap for CeeDee Lamb at 6K. So yeah, I'll be on to him. I'll actually have him a lot on both sides probably. Moore and Anderson, both looking really good as well. Robbie Anderson's way too cheap on FanDuel. So, yeah, me getting me some of that. That dude, he is like the king of air yards. He's definitely boom bust, but yeah, for tournaments, fuck yeah. Give me all of that at 59 hundo. T.Y. Hilton, I'll probably take a stab at. He's got low ownership. He hasn't done fuck all this year. Rivers is having a lot of trouble getting the ball out on the outside. He's really, as he's always, loved, Phillip Rivers tight end, so it's more of the Mo Ali Cox show down there. But 4,900 is pretty cheap. I mean, for T.Y. Hilton, I gotta have to take a chance here or there with that. Same thing with Samuel. Really nice play as well in that in that Atlanta-Carolina stack. Love Darius Slayton for 4,800. He's gonna eat. I think his boy down here a little bit lower in where did they put him? Should be like 4,800. Oh man, that's all fucked up again. All right, yeah. Well, wherever the fuck Golden Tate is, here he is, 4,600. Both of them are probably gonna have a pretty good day. So is the tight end, because Dallas can't stop anything. They can put points up on you, but this is a high-scoring game. So I like all of that. Give me all of that game. Just looking to differentiate one way or the other with respect to lineups. That's too cheap for Sammy Watkins. It's because of the expected blowout. If you think the game stays close, get you some Sammy Watkins. Laviska Shenault Jr. in this game. This kid is good. He's the real deal. They're slowly working him into the offense, which you can see he got 14 targets in his last game, 8 previous 10. That's not a bad average right there. If this kid can average, those are fancy points. Targets 6, 6, and 4. Jesus Christ. I should have had coffee. Should have had a cup of coffee first, but fuck up. We're pushing on here. I'm just fried if you can't tell. It has been a long day. McCole Hartman, very possibly going to get that jet sweep at the goal line. A few touches. I have him in some tournament lines at 2% owned. He could also bring one back in the return game, so don't mind him for the price, although I'd rather go elsewhere for getting a little cheaper. With Julio out, Ridley, you definitely want some of that. If you're targeting that game, he is a little expensive, will be higher owned, so maybe pivot off of him to Gage or Hayden Hurst, Hunter Hurst, whatever the fuck his name is, the tight end. Fuller, he's fine for stacking for tournaments. Not really going after the pass catchers as much with this Cleveland and Indianapolis. The Colts actually have a very good secondary this year, so I do have a little OBJ because he obviously has huge upside. Don't love his quarterback. Woods looks great this week as well. Love the F1. If you've heard me talk about him before, Terry McLaurin. I'll stick him in a lineup. I don't care, tournament, cash, whatever. If I have room for him, he just sees such a high target share. You figure this game probably blows out a bit too, but he'll see a lot of targets in garbage time as well. Look at his last 3 games, 25, 13, 29. So he's got a pretty good fantasy range of outcome there. Look at his targets, 14, 8, 10. Clearly a huge target share percentage of that offense. Devontae Parker, same kind of deal. Fitzmagic, kind of scary. They're playing a very tough secondary, but Devontae Parker is going to eat no matter what. He was injured, I think, in that last game. Still put up 24 fantasy points. If he finds the end zone once or twice, completely different story. He can really break a slate open. 5,900 is too cheap for that. We went over Johnson before, but to reiterate, yes. Not scared, yes. He got a concussion and fucked us all in that last game. He's back now. He is probably the favorite toy. The number 2 receiver in Pittsburgh always eats. Remember how good Juju was last year? Or was it 2? I'm sorry, it was 2 years ago when crazy-ass Antonio Brown was still there, and he was the number 2. Gallup, the boomer bust tournament play, definitely a good piece for 5,400. Totally worth getting to. He kind of had a cooler game last week, so maybe he comes back this week. I think they're all going to eat against the Giants. Debo just got reactivated. We'll have to see. I'm not really looking to go to him that much. We like Gage. Landry's fine. Then it gets pretty ugly down here. T. Higgins, tournament only. This talking about the real deal young guy that we like this guy a lot, especially with everybody else on the field, Boyd and Brown on the field. They're not going to be able to give this guy the attention he warrants. So look for him to get more targets this week. We'll see. Greg Ward, if you want to take a flyer, real cheap part of that Philadelphia passing game. I'm not getting any, but I wouldn't be mad at you if you did. P-Dubs, whatever the fuck his name is over in Miami, said they want to get him more involved in the passing game. He's definitely the second. Well, he should be the third. He's the second wide receiver, but he's like the third or fourth option. As you see, that back Gaskin gets a lot of targets. And then obviously Gesicki. But 4,100 is not a bad price if you need to fit somebody in your lineup. He's probably going to be low owned. Could get you where you need to go. I'm going Brandon Cooks. I'm surprised 9%, honestly, with that goose egg last year. But that's Brandon Cooks. Every year he's going to do that in a game. He's just an explosive guy, and for whatever reason last week they wanted to limit him. The defense keyed in on him. Sucked for all of us that had him, but I don't think that's going to continue. Law of averages, he's going to regress towards the mean. His mean being 10 to 17, somewhere in that range, probably fantasy points. I'd take a flyer in England if I had to. That's not bad, 37 hundo. Aguilar, I'm getting a bunch of. I talked about that earlier for 36. I'm not going much cheaper than that. A little consideration for Isaiah Ford in that offense, but they have a tough matchup this week. So, after that, it's pretty bad. Let's look at tight end. Traditionally what you do is you get your value at tight end, you get your value at wide receiver, and you pay up for quarterback and running back. Or you get your value at wide receiver and tight end, and you pay up for quarterback. You get your... I just work here. I don't care. I'm not editing. I'm fucking beat. George Kittle had a monster game last week. Look for that to continue. The guy's a stud. I just worry about the blowout in this game. That's the only thing that makes me concerned. Same thing with Kelsey. They're a little expensive. Probably not going near Higbee. He's getting pricey too. He's had a few good games, but Dalton Schultz is where I'm going. This dude has almost 30% target share in this offense. Real soft defense they're playing. Give me all the Dalton Schultz, Evan Ingram, soft defense as well. Not quite as high a percentage, but definitely 20% or so of the target share of that offense. Wiley Cox we talked about, but yeah, I've just been gaga with this dude the whole time. I mean, that 19 really helped me. 14 and an 8 is fine. He's getting priced up a little bit more now, but this guy gets a lot of targets. Phillip Rivers targets tight ends. Ebron for 4K is too cheap. The concern here is a blowout, but I don't mind that play. Not going to go to Eifert this week. Akins might not play. He's questionable, I think. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Andrews is way too expensive for me. Waller for cash all day. They're going to have to throw the ball a lot. They're going to be keeping up with that explosive offense. The Chiefs have not contained tight ends very well this year. So get me some of that. Ertz is like the only option in the world right now passing for Philly. I don't mind it, but I would rather get to Waller for 200 more. I'm going to take a pass on Gesicki. Hurst I like for tournaments. Oh, he's getting pricey as well. But he has a good target share, a lot of red zone share there. After that, it gets pretty bad. I will say that Logan Thomas, very few people will be on him. He's been a little disappointing this year. I think he could pop a little. For that price, he doesn't have to do much. If you get way down here, Trey Burton. Okay, this dude just got off IR. He is out there running routes. So if you move off of Mo Alley Cox, but you still want a piece of that game, this is a really good value play. I think for 2,900, he has the potential to smash this week. So I'll probably have a bunch of him in tournament only. After that, pretty bad, pretty quick, pretty gross. I'm not really messing around much more than that. All right, let's make some lineups. All right, so here we go. Here's the draft dashboard. There's a link below for $1. You get all of my picks, my watch lists, whatever. So this is what they crapped out based on my player pool, my current player pool. It's actually not a terrible lineup if we look at it. This is a tournament lineup too. See how it says GPP for the guaranteed prize pool. That's important. So a little higher risk, high reward. You got Eifert in there and Chark with their pass thrower. That's not bad. I like Kareem Hunt. James Robinson does catch some passes, but there's usually a negative correlation between running back and I would rather, if I'm only going to play I'm only going to stack a running back with a QB if that running back's getting like 8 to 10 targets. All right, so we'll put the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in there. Now what do we got? We got Samuel, Hill. Yeah, I mean, this is not a bad lineup at all. I would just probably... My only concern is there's no bring back, and that is not a good correlation for a tournament. So maybe what I do is I come off of this fool and get me some Will Fuller right here. Yeah, so if I get Will Fuller in there, because it needs to shoot out. There needs to be some back and forth in order for this stack to work. Now what I'm looking at is maybe being able to pay up a little bit more, get away from Slate in there in the flex. Although he's fine. He's going to catch a touchdown this week. Russell Gage, pretty low ownership there. Gesicki, Wilson, Gibson, Washington. Yeah, that's good for a tournament. How much do I got left? Okay, about 100. Not great. Good defense there, though. Yeah, something like that. That'll work. That'll do. Let's go ahead and make a FanDuel one. See what we come up with here. based on my watch list there. All right. I'm not playing Kyler Murray in FanDuel, but I will play Dak. And I'm not playing Drake. We'll go back to Antonio Gibson. And we got Robbie, who I like a lot at that price. That's cheap. Shark. No, we need to get some pass catchers in here. So let's go and see about Air Dalton Schultz here. Is he priced up? Can't remember. No, he's cheap. Yeah, that's too cheap, especially on FanDuel. Alright, so we'll get that. Mari's only 78. I think what I'll do is I'll probably come down to CeeDee Lamb. At 59 is way too cheap. What are you doing, FanDuel? That is too cheap for CeeDee Lamb. Alright, and then let's take... We got to get a piece of the New York passing game if we're doing a game stack. So I think since there's only a half point per reception for FanDuel, we might be better off with Darius Slayton. Where the fuck is he? Probably went right by him. Yeah, there he is. See, he's priced up a little bit more. Dash rank. Money on the dash rank. Alright, so now we got... How much we got left over? About 15 hundo. DeAndre Hopkins, god damn. No. Give me some Zeke all day. Alright. So yeah, I mean, we can play Zeke with Dak because Zeke gets a lot of targets in the passing game. It's not a perfect correlation, but that's a pretty solid FanDuel lineup. You got 12 hundo left on the table to differentiate yourself, so we like that. Anyway, my tired ass has to fucking stop thinking and talking. Thank you, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends what an idiot I am, all those things. I appreciate. Comment down below. We'll see you next time.